Is your declining energy, fading confidence, or lack of desire really just aging? Or is it something you're quietly doing to yourself every single day at the dinner table? The truth is, many men over 50 think their performance fades naturally with time, but in reality, certain everyday foods are quietly stealing their strength, their drive, and their vitality. You might not notice the effect right away, but like a slow leak in a tire, your energy drains, your stamina shrinks, and your body struggles to keep up with the life you want to live. Life doesn't end at 50, it just begins a new chapter. This is the place for men who want to stay fit, stay healthy, stay happy, and live meaningfully after 50. Before we begin, if you find these insights helpful for your strength and confidence after 50, I would be so grateful if you would like to like and subscribe. Your support is what keeps me going to bring you valuable lessons to keep you going. Now picture this. You wake up, pour yourself a harmless glass of juice, grab a sweet pastry, maybe treat yourself to bacon or sausage for breakfast. Later, you enjoy fried snacks, perhaps a salty takeout dinner, and end your day with a couple of drinks to relax. Sounds normal, right? But each one of those choices is part of the 5 hidden food villains we're going to uncover, and each one, in its own sneaky way, can block blood flow, weaken hormone balance, and sabotage your performance not just in the bedroom, but in daily energy and mental sharpness too. Here's the bold truth. It's not the big, obvious junk food meals that always do the worst damage. It's the everyday foods, the ones that feel innocent, even comforting, that slowly chip away at your health. Think of them like termites in a wooden house. You don't hear them, you don't see them, but give them a few years and suddenly the structure creaks, cracks, and collapses, and yes, there's science behind it. Studies have shown that certain ingredients like excessive sugar, processed fats, or high sodium don't just affect your waistline. They also mess with circulation, hormones like testosterone, and even brain chemistry. And while the debates continue like whether a little alcohol is good for your heart or whether salt sensitivity varies from person to person, the bigger picture is clear. The more you rely on these 5 foods, the harder it is to feel vibrant, confident, and in control. So, today, we're going to expose those 5 silent saboteurs. We'll talk about how sugar plays tricks with your testosterone, how processed meats sneak in toxins that confuse your hormones, how fried foods clog more than just arteries, how alcohol gives with one hand and takes away with the other, and how excess salt quietly raises the pressure that undermines your strength. Along the way, I'll share unusual little details like why reheated oil is worse than you think, or how deli meat was once marketed as a power food. We'll even have a little fun, because let us face it, talking about health doesn't have to feel like a doctor's lecture. And as you listen, I want you to ask yourself, what would it feel like to cut back on these foods? Even just a little. Would you notice more energy in the mornings? A clearer head at work? More confidence in your most intimate moments? You might be surprised how quickly your body responds when you take away the things that hold it back. Because here's the kicker. Avoiding these foods ain't about punishment or never eating anything fun again. It's about making smarter choices most of the time, so that you can actually enjoy life fully, whether that's a hike with friends, laughing with your partner, or yes, having the kind of performance that makes you feel proud of yourself at any age. So, are you ready? Let's begin with the sweetest, sneakiest enemy of all, sugar. Sugar is the sweet friend that always shows up when you're tired, stressed, or just craving comfort, but it's also the quiet backstabber that drains your energy, steals your testosterone, and leaves you feeling sluggish when you need strength the most. You probably know that sugar is linked to weight gain, but here's what many men don't realize. Every extra spoonful of sugar can set off a chain reaction that directly sabotages your male performance. Let's break it down. When you eat sugary foods, cakes, candies, soft drinks, even that innocent glass of orange juice, your blood sugar spikes. Your body rushes to release insulin to bring that sugar back under control. Do this once in a while and you'll survive just fine. But repeat this pattern daily, and over time your insulin sensitivity drops. Your body stores more fat around your belly, and testosterone takes a nosedive. And guess what? Belly fat isn't just extra padding, it's hormonally active. It converts precious testosterone into estrogen, leaving you with less drive, less confidence, and less performance. Think about it this way. Sugar doesn't just rob you of energy, it literally makes you less of the man you want to be. Imagine your testosterone as the fuel in a sports car. Sugar quietly punches holes in the gas tank, and every time you indulge, the fuel drains faster. No wonder so many men feel exhausted and uninspired after years of a sweet tooth. Here's a strange detail most people don't know. In one clinical experiment, men who drank just one sugary soda experienced a 25% drop in testosterone within an hour. The effect lasted for 2 hours. Think about that, one can of soda, and for the next couple of hours, your body's most vital male hormone is practically in hiding. And if you make that soda an everyday habit, you're basically telling your body to shut down its engine on repeat. Of course, some experts argue that a little sugar in moderation is harmless. And yes, the occasional birthday cake won't ruin your life. But ask yourself this: what does moderation really mean when sugar is hiding in your breakfast cereal, your bread, your salad dressing, and even your so-called healthy protein bars? You may think you're moderate, but the truth is you're bathing your system in sugar far more often than you realize. Now here's where performance takes a double hit. Sugar not only reduces testosterone, it also damages blood vessels. Every time your blood sugar spikes, tiny molecules called AGEs, advanced glycation and products, form in your bloodstream. They stiffen and inflame your blood vessels, reducing circulation. And as any man knows, performance depends on strong, steady blood flow. When circulation weakens, so does your ability to rise to the occasion. Let me paint the picture. Imagine planning a romantic evening, but after dessert, you feel bloated, tired, and oddly cranky. Instead of fireworks, it feels like your body thus wants to crawl into bed and snore. That's sugar at work, not just stealing your physical energy, but also dampening your emotional spark. And here's the kicker, you might laugh at this one. Did you know some ancient civilizations actually believed sugar had aphrodisiac powers? They called it the food of pleasure. If only they knew what modern science shows us. Sugar isn't the spark, it's the wet blanket. So next time someone offers you a second slice of cake, remember you're not just saving calories, you're saving your manhood's reputation. Of course, I'm not here to tell you to live like a monk. The point is to be mindful. Swap the soda for sparkling water with lemon, choose fruit over candy, and gradually retrain your taste buds to appreciate the natural sweetness of whole foods. Your testosterone will thank you, your energy will rise, and your partner just might notice the difference. The bottom line, sugar is the sweetest liar you'll ever meet. It promises comfort, but delivers fatigue. It tempts you with pleasure, but quietly strips away the very fuel that makes you feel alive as a man. And once you recognize its deception, you'll never look at that harmless dessert the same way again. Next, let us turn to another everyday villain, the kind that often shows up sizzling on your breakfast plate: processed meats. Bacon sizzling in the pan, the smell of smoked sausages, the convenience of grabbing a ham sandwich for lunch, it all feels so normal, even comforting. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Processed meats are one of the biggest wolves in sheep's clothing for men over 50. They don't just fill your plate. They slowly fill your body with preservatives, chemicals, and compounds that mess with your circulation and hormone balance in ways you might not expect. Let's get specific. Processed meats, things like bacon, hot dogs, salami, pepperoni, and deli ham, are loaded with nitrates and nitrites. Food companies add these chemicals to keep the meat looking pink, tasty, and safe on the shelf. But once inside your body, These compounds can turn into nitrosamine substances linked to inflammation and reduced vascular health. And when your blood vessels are inflamed, it doesn't just put your heart at risk. It directly impacts the blood flow that's essential for male performance. Here's a detail you won't forget. Researchers once compared men who ate high amounts of processed meat to those who rarely touched the stuff. The high meat eaters had significantly lower sperm quality and reduced hormone levels. Now, you might not be planning on having more children after 50, but this is a clear marker that your reproductive system is under attack. It's like your body is waving a white flag and saying, "Enough of the chemical overload." Of course, there's an open debate here. Some experts argue that meat itself isn't the villain, it's the additives. After all, unprocessed meats like grass-fed beef or free-range chicken don't carry the same risks. And that's true. But for most men, the problem is convenience. Grabbing deli slices for a sandwich feels quicker than cooking fresh food. And that convenience quietly chips away at your long-term vitality. Think of your arteries like highways. Fresh, whole foods keep those highways clean and flowing. But processed meats act like sticky sludge that narrows the lanes and slows down the traffic. When blood can't flow freely, performance drops. And let's be honest, the last place you want a traffic jam is in the system that drives your most intimate confidence. Here's something funny to picture. In the 1950s, bacon was advertised as the ultimate men's breakfast, a power meal for strong husbands heading off to work. If only those ads mentioned the part about nitrates messing with testosterone and circulation. Instead of being a power meal, it's more like a slow leak in your performance tank. The only thing bacon powers today is your cardiologist's next vacation, and the story doesn't end there. Processed meats are also high in saturated fats, which raise LDL cholesterol. Over time, that cholesterol lines your arteries, narrowing them even further. Combine that with the chemical preservatives, and you've got a one-to punch against your vitality. It's like stacking sandbags against your own energy, all for a sandwich you didn't even enjoy that much. The question is, do you have to give it up completely? Not necessarily. The lesson here is balance and awareness. If you still love the taste, save it for rare occasions, a holiday breakfast, a summer barbecue rather than a daily routine. In your day-to-day, swap those processed slices for fresh, lean proteins, turkey breast you roast yourself, grilled chicken, even beans and lentils if you want a plant-based option. These choices fuel your body without the chemical baggage. So here's the takeaway. Processed meats might look innocent on your plate, but inside your body, they're like little time bombs. They rob you of circulation, strain your hormones, and slowly drain the very vitality you're fighting to preserve after 50. And if you thought processed meats were bad, wait until you see what happens when oil gets heated, reheated, and reused. That crunchy fried snack might be giving you more than you bargained for. Crispy fries, golden onion rings, that crunchy fried chicken wing, you can almost hear the crackle and feel the salt on your fingers. Fried food is the universal comfort, the guilty pleasure we reach for when we want something quick, cheap, and satisfying. But here's the problem. What feels like comfort in the moment quickly becomes chaos inside your body, especially after 50, when circulation and hormones are already more fragile. The real villain isn't the potato or the chicken itself, it's the oil. When food is deep fried, it usually sits in cheap, industrial oils high in trans fats and omega-6 fatty acids. Worse, those oils are often reused again and again in restaurant fryers. Each time oil is reheated, its chemical structure breaks down, creating harmful compounds called aldehydes. These aldehydes are like little sparks of poison. They inflame your blood vessels, raise oxidative stress, and interfere with the smooth flow of blood through your arteries. And if you think oxidative stress sounds abstract, let me put it this way. It's like your cells are being rusted from the inside out. Now here's the kicker. Blood flow is everything when it comes to male performance. Without healthy arteries, No amount of desire or drive will make things work properly. Fried foods clog and stiffen those arteries, reducing flexibility. The result: sluggish circulation, slow recovery, and the kind of frustration that makes you wonder if your best days are behind you. Here's a weird fact. Some studies found that men who regularly consumed fried foods had almost 2 times the risk of erectile dysfunction compared to those who rarely indulged. Twice the risk. Think about that next time you're hovering over the fast food menu, torn between the salad and the double fried combo. Of course, there's debate. Some argue that a little fried food here and there won't kill you. And yes, if you're frying at home with fresh olive oil and doing it occasionally, that's a very different story than grabbing fries from a greasy fryer 5 days a week. But the real danger is frequency. A small handful of fries once in a blue moon won't ruin you, but for many men, fried food has become almost daily fuel. And your arteries simply can't handle that abuse. Now, let's lighten the mood for a second. Did you know that in some ancient cultures, people used to rub oil directly on their bodies for vitality and strength? Fast forward to today, and we're pouring reheated fryer oil into our bellies instead. Somewhere along the line, we seriously messed up the memo. The only thing fryer oil is massaging is your cholesterol levels. The damage doesn't stop at circulation, either. Those unhealthy fats also interfere with hormone production. Testosterone is made from cholesterol, but when your body is overloaded with the wrong fats, it shifts resources away from producing healthy testosterone and toward fighting inflammation. It's like asking your body to build a house while you keep setting little fires around the construction site. It never gets the job done. Picture this: you're planning a night of energy and connection, but after that bucket of fried chicken, you feel heavy, bloated, and oddly sluggish. Your digestive system is working overtime, your arteries are under stress, and your body is whispering, "Not tonight." That's not just bad luck, that's fried food doing its dirty work. So, what's the solution? You don't have to swear off crunchy pleasures forever. Instead, choose smarter ways to enjoy texture and flavor. Roast potatoes with olive oil in the oven for crispiness without the chemical storm. Use an air fryer for the same crunch with a fraction of the oil. Try nuts or roasted chickpeas for a satisfying bite. It's about reclaiming the enjoyment of food without sabotaging your own vitality. Here's the truth. Fried foods are seductive. They look good, smell irresistible, and crunch in the mouth. But inside, they're thieves. They steal your circulation, they rob your energy, and they weaken the very core of your performance. And once you recognize how much damage that sizzling basket of fries can do, you'll start to see fried food not as a treat, but as a trade-off you're not willing to make. Next, let's talk about another so-called friend that men often rely on for relaxation and courage: alcohol. It promises to set you free, but too often, it quietly chains you down. A glass of wine at dinner, a cold beer after mowing the lawn, maybe a whiskey to take the edge off before bed. It all feels harmless, even sophisticated. For many men, alcohol is the social glue and the secret courage booster. But here's the paradox. While alcohol might seem to give you confidence in the moment, it quietly dismantles the very systems you rely on for lasting male performance. It's the classic double-edged sword. You feel good tonight, but you pay for it tomorrow, and often in ways you don't immediately connect. Let's start with hormones. Alcohol disrupts testosterone production in a big way. Your body makes testosterone primarily in the testes, but alcohol interferes with the enzymes that drive this process. Even moderate drinking lowers testosterone temporarily, and heavy or frequent drinking can lower baseline levels long-term. The result? Less drive, less energy, and a noticeable dip in performance. To put it bluntly, alcohol tells your body to hit the brakes on being a man, right when you need the gas pedal. Here's a strange detail you might not know. Alcohol raises levels of a hormone called cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. High cortisol is like kryptonite for testosterone. It signals your body to store fat, especially around the belly, and weakens your ability to recover from stress. That beer belly ain't just about calories, it's about hormones completely out of balance. And once again, belly fat is a testosterone thief, converting it into estrogen. That's a cruel double blow. Alcohol steals testosterone production and then helps your belly fat rob what's left. Now let's talk circulation. Alcohol is a vasodilator. It relaxes blood vessels in the short term, which is why some men feel a rush of warmth after a drink. But over time, chronic drinking damages those same vessels, leading to high blood pressure, weaker blood flow, and you guessed it, trouble with performance. Imagine it like this. Alcohol is the buddy who buys you one round tonight but secretly maxes out your credit card while you're not looking. And here's a light-hearted but very real observation. They don't call it beer goggles for nothing. Alcohol may lower your inhibitions, but it also lowers your awareness and your ability to follow through. How many times have men boasted about drinking to impress, only to find that their body didn't quite cooperate when the moment mattered? It's one of those cruel jokes, liquid courage, that comes with liquid sabotage. Of course, scientists debate whether a small amount of alcohol like one glass of red wine might actually benefit heart health. And that's true, in moderation. Antioxidants in wine can help. But here's the trap. Most men don't stop at one glass. One glass becomes two, then a weekend binge, and before long, the so-called healthy habit has turned into a performance killer. Imagine this scenario. You sit down with your partner for a romantic dinner. One glass of wine feels warm and connecting, but by the second or third, your eyelids are heavy, your body feels sluggish, and instead of intimacy, the night ends with snores. That's alcohol's real effect, not just in the bedroom, but in robbing you of the energy and clarity to be fully present. So, what's the solution? You don't have to quit drinking entirely unless you choose to. Instead, be intentional. Limit yourself to special occasions. Swap the evening beer for sparkling water with lime or an herbal tea that relaxes without stealing hormones. If you do enjoy alcohol, pace yourself. Hydrate between drinks and know your limit. That way, you're the one in control, not the drink. The bottom line, alcohol wears a clever disguise. It looks like a friend, offering relaxation and courage. But beneath the mask, it quietly erodes your hormones, circulation, and energy. And the older you get, the harder your body finds it to bounce back. If you truly want lasting strength, vitality, and confidence after 50, alcohol has to move from everyday crutch to occasional indulgence. And as we move forward, let's tackle another quiet thief that hides in plain sight: salt. You don't think twice when you sprinkle it on your food, but too much of it quietly turns up the pressure in ways that directly sabotage your performance. Salt may not look dangerous, it's just a sprinkle, right? But when you pass 50, excess salt becomes a silent thief of your strength. Those chips, canned soups, or just one more slice of pizza aren't just guilty pleasures. They're slowly hardening your arteries, raising your blood pressure, and making it harder for blood to flow where you need it most. And without good circulation, performance takes a hit. The tricky part, salt hides everywhere. A deli sandwich, instant noodles, even that healthy low-fat frozen dinner often packs more sodium than your body needs for the entire day. The result? Water retention, sluggishness, and over time, a body that feels older than it should. Think about it, your energy drops, your stamina fades, and the confidence you once had starts slipping. One unusual detail. In ancient times, salt was so valuable it was called white gold. Armies fought for it. Empires taxed it. Yet today, we have the opposite problem: we drown in it. And instead of making us rich, it robs us of vitality. Researchers still debate whether some people are salt sensitive while others aren't. Maybe you can handle a pinch more, maybe not. But here's the bottom line. Too much salt raises blood pressure, and high blood pressure is a known enemy of male performance. The fix isn't boring. Swap salt-heavy snacks with potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocados, or leafy greens. These balance your body's sodium levels naturally. Cook at home when possible. Use herbs, garlic, or lemon juice for flavor instead of the salt shaker. Over time, your taste buds adjust, and food becomes more alive with flavor, not less. A lighthearted truth: you don't need to turn into the guy who complains, "My doctor won't even let me look at a pretzel anymore." Instead, be the man who makes smart swaps and still enjoys food without sabotaging performance. Your arteries, your energy, and yes, your partner will thank you. You already know alcohol can be a slippery slope, but what's less obvious is how even just one more drink chips away at your performance over time. Sure, a glass of wine with dinner may relax you, but the hidden cost of regular drinking after 50: lower testosterone, weaker circulation, restless sleep, and that creeping fatigue that refuses to go away. Think about it. Alcohol, the depressant, it slows down your nervous system, muddles communication between brain and body, and quietly lowers your drive. You might laugh about it after 2 drinks. You feel like the king of romance, but by the third, your body, in following orders. That mismatch can be frustrating and confidence-crushing. Here's an unusual detail. In ancient Egypt, beer was safer than water and even given as wages. But those workers weren't worrying about their performance at 55, they rarely lived past 40. Today, men often live into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. That means moderation, in just wise, it's essential for longevity and strength. Science is still debating whether small amounts of alcohol have heart benefits. Some studies point to red wine and antioxidants, while others argue any alcohol is harmful. But one truth stands unshaken: heavy drinking damages your liver, lowers testosterone, and triggers inflammation, 3 enemies you don't want if you're serious about health after 50. So, what's the solution? You don't need to become the monk at the party who clutches a water bottle like it's holy. Instead, limit alcohol to special occasions and savor quality over quantity. Swap that nightly beer for sparkling water with lime or a mocktail. Sleep deeper, wake with more energy, and feel your body respond with sharper focus and better circulation. Lighthearted joke: call it liquid courage all you want, but alcohol often works more like liquid sabotage. If you've ever tried to impress your partner after a few too many, you know it doesn't end like in the movies. Here's the encouragement: staying sharp after 50 isn't about cutting joy, it's about reclaiming it. By drinking smarter, you keep your edge, your clarity, and your vitality. And trust me, nothing feels better than waking up strong, alert, and fully capable. Salt seems harmless. You sprinkle it on eggs, soups, maybe even watermelon if you're adventurous. But when you're over 50, too much salt quietly undermines your strength. High sodium stiffens your blood vessels, raises your blood pressure, and makes your heart work harder than it should. And if your circulation struggles, well, you know what that means for performance. Here's the catch: most of the salt you consume in from the shaker, it's hiding in bread, sauces, canned foods, chips, even healthy frozen dinners. That means you could be overdosing daily without realizing it. Ever eat takeout and then wake up puffy and sluggish the next day? That's salt holding water in your tissues, bloating you, and stressing your system. A weird detail: Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt, hence the word salary. Imagine working hard for a pouch of the very mineral that could shorten your prime years if overused. History had its irony. Doctors debate just how low sodium should go. Some argue strict limits make people miserable, while others insist even moderate excess adds up to major risk. But what's certain is this: lowering salt protects your arteries, your kidneys, and yes, your stamina. So, what can you do? First, taste before you salt. Many foods are flavorful enough. Use herbs like garlic, basil, or chili to kick taste up a notch without sodium. Drink plenty of water to flush excess. And when you do crave something salty, go for nuts or seeds rather than processed snacks, your body responds almost immediately. Lower blood pressure, lighter steps, clearer energy. Here's a joke. Too much salt may preserve a pickle, but it won't preserve your performance. You're not a cucumber in a jar. You're a man who deserves vitality. The encouragement is simple. Small swaps make huge differences. Cut down hidden salt, and you'll notice your heart, your circulation, and your confidence all working better together. After all, life after 50 isn't about slowing down, it's about being wise enough to choose foods that keep you strong. And every time you put down the salt shaker, you're choosing strength over struggle. You've just walked through 5 of the most common everyday foods that quietly chip away at a man's performance after 50. Sugar, that drains your energy. Processed meats that clog your circulation. Fried foods that stiffen your arteries. Alcohol that confuses your hormones. And hidden salt that weighs down your heart. Each one seems harmless in the moment. A soda here, a burger there, a nightcap to unwind, but over time, they create a silent storm inside your body. And the first place you notice that storm isn't always on a medical chart. It's in how you feel as a man. Sluggish mornings, less drive, weaker stamina, and a confidence that doesn't feel the same as it once did. But here's the truth. You are not powerless. Life doesn't end at 50, it just begins a new chapter. When you swap processed snacks for fresh fruit, fried chicken for grilled fish, or beer for sparkling water, you're not depriving yourself, you're investing in the version of you who still deserves strength, laughter, intimacy, and vitality. Even tiny steps add up. One less spoon of sugar, one skip fast food meal, one week where you try spices instead of salt. These small changes protect your heart, your circulation, and yes, your performance. Is there debate in science? Always. Some doctors argue moderation is enough, others push for stricter limits, but one fact never changes. When you choose fresh, whole foods over processed, your body thanks you. You move easier, you sleep deeper, and you carry yourself with the kind of presence that people notice. Remember, your body and mind still deserve strength, respect, and care no matter your age. If you do something today, let it be your choice and move forward with purpose. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.